Hey there, and welcome to this episode of Grow Wealthy Grooming. I'm your host, River Lee, and I am founder of the Savvy Groomer, where I teach you guys to go from being burnt out, broken, to healthy, wealthy, and happy, building a grooming business on your term. Today's episode is sponsored by the Pay Masterclass. So let's go ahead and hop into today's topic. Now, I normally don't go into specifics on companies that we either don't work with directly, but I thought this was a really important conversation because I saw this in a group and I thought, you know what, this really matches up with what we're talking about during the Pay Masterclass in these new classes, where we're talking to you guys about different ways of hiring, managing, and paying your employees, especially as we're coming into a recession and we are already in a groomer shortage, a groomer drought. We need to start getting creative. So this is the post that it was actually just a screenshot from Animal Behavior College. Now, some of you guys may have heard of Animal Behavior College before. Animal Behavior College is basically an online dog training. They have grooming. I think they now have cat behaviorist, and they might even have a few other. I think they might have vet tech, different online classes and online certificates. It's really popular. And the reason why is because they do have, you're able to use Sally Mae. And if you are the spouse of an active duty military personnel, you can actually get this generally for half off or even free in a lot of cases. So this is what they had screenshotted off of the Animal Behavior College, or ABC's, website. Animal Behavior College programs are available to students residing in 50 states and every Canadian province. While Animal Behavior College programs vary in structure and requirement, one thing is consistent. They are designed to be convenient for students. They utilize one of 6,000 hands-on career mentors, blah, blah, blah. Work affiliations with thousands of veterinary hospitals, dog trainers, and grooming salons throughout the United States. So what had happened to the groomer that shared this is that they were pissed off because what happened was it was $6,000 for the online school to teach the curriculum. And I agree. I think that, I'm not here to shame anyone with what they charge. I think you need to charge what you want to charge. But it is amazing, guys, that people are getting $6,000 for an online curriculum, and then they're not actually training this hands-on program. The thing is that ABC is selling that they get hands-on instruction. And part of you guys are like, I want to get paid for that instruction. And I actually think that this is a great deal for the both of us. I think it's great for Animal Behavior College because they can sell their stuff and they make sure that you don't have to worry about what needs to be taught. You don't have to worry about what, all of the licensing, the local laws, because again, a lot of times, guys, there's a lot of back and forth about training people that are not your employees for money. I'm not generally worried when you guys train one person for money, but if you're training a lot of people for money, it can get a little sticky. And every area is so different. There's different laws, blah, blah, blah. I'm not an attorney, blah, 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 blah. But what I will say is what's interesting to me is that people are mad that Animal Behavior College is not paying them to be a trainer. So here's my thoughts on that. If you are looking to train potential staff and screen staff, this is a great way to either A, become better at training new people and seeing if training your staff is for you. Because not everyone is designed to train staff. I actually really enjoyed training people how to do basic grooming. I don't do that now. Why? Because I think that's just not my wheelhouse. But in my shop was really set up for training people. It was really not effortless, but we created systems in place for them to grow. And it really helped us. Then there's other programs that can teach you and help you grow how to train your staff. But if I hire Joe Blow or Susie Q off the street, I have to pay her a minimum wage. And that minimum wage right now is, I believe, $7.25 federally. That's not a lot of money. So I've got to find someone willing to invest in their education, right? Now, somebody who spent $6,000 is definitely invested in their education. They definitely want to learn, right? Versus someone who's willing to take a minimum wage job may or may not. Somebody who's learning to be a bather and then eventually grow to be a groomer, they're not generally as invested as the person who spent $6,000 to buy school to start a career. Especially during the groomer shortage, I think it's really important for us to consider, how are we going to get more groomers? So if you are looking to have more staff, this is a great way for you to interview, practice, and see if you like this person and then offer them a job, right? So depending upon, and I believe it used to be 100 hours. I think it's more hours now, but it used to be 100 hours that you got them for free. So I just pulled up their website and it looks like, and again, this is everything that they do. I guess they actually, and again, they give nope, I don't want to talk to you. The basics of their cat grooming, which I'm sure is terrible, right? But at least then they do it. So I'm looking at how many hours they actually do hands-on. Yeah, and here you go. Like military spouses qualify for free tuition. And it's saying that right now, the low end is 3,700 and the high end is 61. I think it's if you pay it in full versus like paying it. I'm sure the toolkit is terrible too. Yeah, so it's about 150 hours now. So it's 150 hours of hands-on instruction. Again, I am not selling this program. I'm sure this program is terrible, but it's not any worse than them going to Petco or PetSmart to learn. I am a big advocate of people starting at Petco, PetSmart, these grooming schools, because it's not going to cost the business owner the money. Here's the thing, guys. As an industry, we need more people. We need more people to invest in themselves to start this career. Most of us small business owners can't afford to shoulder the cost of having and paying these people in order for them to come on, right? Most of us can't afford $3,100, $4,000, $5,000 to send people to grooming school. And I do think having some sort of fundamental training is a good option. I just don't want us to pay for it. So again, let's say you have this person who decides they want to be a groomer, right? So they're going to invest between $30,000 and $6,000 to become a groomer. And then they're going to work for you for free for 150 hours. Now, I know from experience with Animal Behavior College that if they don't get grooming in 150 hours, you get more time with them. You just say, listen, they haven't learned this. They need more time, but they're just not capable of doing this. So if they're not capable of doing it and they can't pass, that's it. And if they come in drunk, if they come in high, if they come in late, you just say, you know what? I'm not training you. You have the leverage here, right? A lot of times when we are talking about employees, they have the leverage because we want them to work for us and not the other way around. With things like Animal Behavior College, we have the leverage because they want you to teach them. They want this career. They've invested a lot of time and money into them versus when we have employees that we've invested the time, we've invested the money, right? We want them to show up. So don't be afraid to use resources like this. And I do think if you're not willing to take some bozo, and again, I say that very kindly, off the street who's taken an online course, well, if you're going to be training your groomers from scratch, where are these people going to come from anyway? Right? And you can't train you. It's very difficult legally. You have to be very careful of training people and having them pay you for hands-on instruction and then hiring them as a W-2 employee. It gets really, really sticky. It's one thing if it's already a program, like the National Cat Groomers does this incredibly successfully, right? They have a syllabus, they have an online school, and then you go to hand-on certifiers and instructors. And it's very different. Again, if you went through that school and then you went to a certifier instructor, and then that instructor offered you a job, that is a totally different thing then you're like, hey, I'm a random person. You can pay me to train you how to groom your dog. And then after that, you can go on and go through and do all that. It's just totally different, you know? And again, I'm not an attorney. I can't give you legal advice, but I would be really careful when you're doing that. So that said, I want you guys to consider doing that. If you're thinking about how the hell am I going to be able to find people, this is a tool in your toolbox. You know, if you're going to train your staff anyway, if you're going to want to start picking and sorting through, this is a great way to get someone for 150 hours and decide if you like them, right? If you don't like them, you don't offer them a job, versus investing 150 hours, guys. That's a lot of money. So if I just pull up my calculator right now, so let's do 750. Let's do minimum wage federally. I know it's probably like 725, but let's say 750, 150 hours. Okay. So that's $1,100, $1,125. If it was $10 an hour, and I know I should be able to do this math in my head, but I can't, times 150, it should be, I'm going to make sure, $1,500. So I get $1,100 to $1,500 worth of free labor, right? Essentially, right? Now it is my time, but guys, when you're hiring, you have to invest that time anyway, or somebody has to invest that time. You have to invest that much time. And we are definitely investing 150 hours minimally into somebody before we know if they're really any good. You know, if I take that 150 hours and I divide that by 3 months, guys, that's about 50 hours a month, right? So guess what? That means that divided by 4 weeks, that's someone working 12 hours. So if you have a baby, bather, and they're working, let's say 20 hours a week over 90 days, before you really know if they're any good, that's a lot of money. This way you get to do it for free. You get to see if you like it, and you get to see if you like teaching people. Not everyone's cut out to teach people. And guess what? You're not going to know if someone's any good until you try them out. And this way you don't have to pay. So I just want to say, sometimes we're looking at things the wrong way. If you're like, no, I only get paid for training, then do it. But if you're like, I really want to start hiring people, I really want to start growing my business, right? Then I highly suggest that you consider doing this as a first step. It's a win-win for everyone. I don't think Animal Behavior College is an amazing school. Their curriculums are okay. Let's be honest, they're okay. But it's really easy to take someone, spend that 150 hours, see if you like them, see if you like training people. Because afterwards, guys, they're not going to be able to just jump into a grooming career. 150 hours. A lot of people think they're going to spend 150 hours and they're going to go open their own shop. 150 hours, and think they're going to go ahead and be able to just like get a job. And a lot of them can't. So this is a great way to say, after they've become, I like the term baby groomer. I know you guys always don't. I think it's cute because I think they're just like at this crawl stage. I just think of little babies because they are like, they're just, unless if they have a lot of very natural talent. I did not have natural talent. I had to learn the hard way by repetition, and there were things where I would just like not throw a hissy fit, but I'd be like, I don't know why that looks different, that I just did the same thing and it doesn't look like anything. And it's really cute. Like when they're trying to do things and you're like, oh, sweetie, snip, snip. And they're like, what did you do? You're magic, right? They're going to need someone. They're going to need someone. And even if they eventually leave you, again, this is where we have to decide as an industry how we're going to bring more people in. So I want you to consider that. I know it's not a popular opinion. We're shocked. River has an unpopular opinion. I know, who would have guessed? But I want you to really consider that, okay? So that said, I am not endorsing the company, but I am saying that sometimes we're, looking a gift horse in the mouth. 150 hours of free labor, and then if I don't like them, I can never see them again. Another thing is that if they don't show up for work, I don't care, because I'm going to call the person, the liaison agent from Animal Behavior College, and I'm going to say, hey, this person showed up XYZ123, and they're going to call them and they're going to be pissed, right? Instead of me having to be like, what the hell? Now I have to fire you and do all this nonsense. It's a good deal. I think it's a really good deal. I'm a big fan. And I know it's crazy because I'm not a big fan of a lot. I feel like a lot of times I'm like, I'm not a fan of that, but I think that's a very big win-win. Yeah. And like I said, so, today's sponsor was the Pay Masterclass. And because of that, I think it's important for you to know how you're going to pay your employees. Again, if I have someone who's worked for free for me for 150 hours through Animal Behavior College, not illegally, because again, I can't have someone work for me for free. Unfortunately, there's a lot of laws around nonprofits and, not being able to have people work for us for free. If you're a for-profit business, you can't have volunteers, right? So it's important for you to understand wage classification, what's an independent contractor versus an employee. And then also, how are you going to pay them? And in the Pay Masterclass, we do talk about how do you structure that pay. And again, I don't believe in straight commission pay. I think that it's really unfair. I think it'd be very unfair to take somebody who's taken an online class and 150 hours of me teaching them and giving them 30, 40, 50%, the same as my seasoned groomers. That's not fair. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that is good for anybody. So, and the Pay Masterclass, we really break that down for you guys. And I think that's important. In our other master classes, our sister master classes, where we talk about other things. And again, those sister master classes are the hire grooming employee masterclass and the manage grooming employee master classes. We're going to be more in depth, obviously, with how do you manage employees, and then of course, how do you actually hire those employees and the legalities of that. But if you guys are interested in learning more about the Pay Masterclass, you can visit me at savvygroomer.com/PGMC, as in Pay Groomer Masterclass. Again, this is a 6-module masterclass where we teach you guys how to go to create a pay structure that actually works. We'll show you guys how to calculate sustainable pay structures, set it up on the back end to legally pay your employees, guys, and create bonuses and benefits that will actually keep those employees, right? Because again, a lot of people are saying like, oh, no one will be able to stay, they're going to want 50%. Okay, well, what is 50%? Is that 30,000 a year? Is that 40,000 a year? Is that 50,000? Is it 80,000? Is it 100,000? As an industry, if we want to be taken seriously, we need to start changing this stuff up. Okay, so I just want to leave you with that thought. I absolutely adore all of you. Thank you so much for being here today on this episode of Grow Wealthy Grooming. We talked all about, again, these animal behavior college structures and why sometimes you're looking a gift horse in the mouth. So if you guys want to learn more about me and where to work with me, go to savvygroomer.com. Again, you're going to find my free resources like my free Facebook group, Savvy Pet Professionals, my YouTube channel, my podcast, Greedy Bitch. I cannot wait to see you guys again. Thank you so much for being here. And as always, guys, happy grooming.